I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're diving into the high-stakes world of medical staffing and executive leadership. We're talking about a powerful book. It is called Riding the Executive Roller Coaster, Medical Staffing Cases. It's written by a terrific author and healthcare executive. Her name is Kelli Christina. And in the book, she shares real-life stories from her decades in the industry, revealing the challenges, triumphs, and behind-the-scenes battles of the medical staffing world. Whether you're a business professional, entrepreneur, or aspiring leader, this book is packed with insights, resilience, and navigating the roller coaster of corporate life. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Sweetspire Literature Management for helping us put her in the spotlight today. We ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. And be sure to download the Spotlight Network TV app, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Kelli, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan Crawford, for having me on your show. I'm real excited.
I'm real excited to talk to you as well. Your book is wonderful. It is said that everybody has a book in them. Tell us a little bit about your writing career.
So my book projects thus far, I put out 2 books, and it's kind of ironic the topics that my books pull out. I've got a lot of politics, government, attorneys, legal, making a difference in both my books, Logan. My first book, and it's always interesting when you do launch out your first book, but it would have been back in 2015. When I found myself applying for the Donald Trump campaign. And my first book is my government blogging. And what I mean by that is it's a little campaign book. Spent a couple years. I'm a big believer in, yes, we all have ideas, on making a difference in this country, but you've got to listen to the people. On what they want. And I took 2 years to interview the people and created Togetherness, People's Ideas for the Common People. That's my first book. If you ever wonder, and I mentioned that I worked with government officials over a decade, part-time in this country. If you ever wonder about my topics or what I touched upon, it's probably in that book. Yeah. Now, Riding the Executive Roller Coaster is my second book. A best-selling book. That book is called, a lot of different names, a memoir, a novel, a crime drama, legal drama, inspirational testimonial book, #1 in politics years ago. And I'm very proud to say that I won International Impact Book Award through ABC 15 and NIMSTANT 2021, and I went back last year, 2024.
Wonderful. Well, you're getting the recognition you deserve because this is a powerful book. You call Riding the Executive Roller Coaster a nonfiction book based on real life events with fictional character names. Tell us a little bit about why you formatted it like that.
Thank you, Logan. The original manuscript on Riding the Executive Roller Coaster Medical Staffing Cases is interestingly enough, it's a 225-page litigation book. It's in 2018, people were calling it the Donald Trump book. And the reason why they were calling it the Donald Trump book is because the original manuscript was delivered to Donald Trump in 2018. Now, he knew it was coming, and he knows me. So I did have a letter in 10 days from Donald Trump that the information in that book was indeed federal investigations. And it was also delivered to the government officials at the time that I worked with. I started my work and I was introduced to, in Texas, Sam Johnson. And that would have been 2013 that we started working together. In Texas, his jurisdiction was Plano, highly decorated congressman, loved working with him. Then he would introduce me to Congressman Van Taylor, and we would work together through his 2023. Van Taylor was always known to being best friends with Ted Cruz. So those are the congressmen. There are many other government officials that worked with me. And interestingly enough, the contents of the chapter, Logan, President Obama would ignore a special appointment in 2014, my Washington, D.C. trip. And I would learn to file a federal investigation myself. And I launched this through federal investigation, skipping both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump in the election 2016.
Wow, amazing. How much time did this second book take you?
So the rewrite took about 2 years, part-time work, fictional characters. I also, I had to tell the story. When you open it, attorneys or, government officials might see the contents of the original manuscript, but the story had to be told. I also had to change everybody's names from Texas to Washington, D.C., and all the way down back to Texas again into fictional characters. Again, that is my life story from 2010 pieces up to 2018. And again, when I tell that story, I'm the main character, Catherine, and I do expose a lot of insight about my life story that, I don't know, some of it can be almost embarrassing to expose to the general public, but you do it.
Exactly. In order to
Yeah.
get the word out there, to get the message out there. I understand you promoted this book, and then on a personal level, you like to share a message with other people. Do what it takes. Talk to us a little bit about this message and share your thoughts, if you would.
So, Do What It Takes, Logan, has been talked about heavily, all the way backdated to the pandemic for people and challenges out there. Now, I know we have an administration that's trying to begin to fix the problems in this country, but we have so many problems in various industries right now. The price gouging and the economy and the long story short, it's hit a lot of people's households and it's hit a lot of people's businesses. And so when I talk about doing what it takes, I am, and we could pick on myself in this book on what I learned because I was an individual that always had success and always had money. I was not due to run out of money. Okay. And through this book, I would become the homeless recruiter, and it was through these lawsuits, and it was not fair, and it's not something that you would expect to happen, by the way. But you learn, or I learned, do what it takes, which means I would go out there and I would work jobs that I was overqualified for, and I would work 2 to 3 restaurant jobs to rebuild KD staffing in this book. Do What It Takes is talking about when you're in hard times, do you have to take an extra job? Do you have to work extra hours? Did you have 2 to 3 incomes? What are you doing out there? Because sometimes it's more stressful to sit around and worry about money versus going out there and getting busy with yourself. Now, doing what it takes, it requires a little bit of humility, pride, thinking outside the box. But what are you going to do as an individual to move forward to better times? And then it
Absolutely.
happens, better times.
Absolutely. It's about bootstrapping it, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, doing whatever it takes to get by until you get to those better times. And you have, and we're glad you did. You left pieces of legal details in the chapters of the book, but the public records and information were changed around for legal reasons and privacy reasons as well. Tell us why you created the book this way.
Probably because it's my book. And I really hope, I think in some pieces of the chapter, it might be hard to read, but I wanted to leave original filings, original legal letters, and just some of the originality in the book, although I had to change the information on public records around. I wanted to make a unique book.
Yeah. And you
It's
did.
that simple. Yeah.
Absolutely, very unique. Well, it's your story, and it is truly unique. It's an inspiring story about rebuilding your life, being on top, falling, rebuilding again, taking your company as a industry executive and turning it all around. You have some chapters in the book about being homeless in 2011. Tell us a little bit about that, if you would.
Yeah. Those chapters are really hard, by the way, to pull out and give to the general public. But again, I am the ever famous homeless recruiter in that book that should have probably never, ever, I was never due to run out of money, you know? And, but in the opening chapters of the book would be a very hard, rough lawsuit that would cause a lot of trauma and loss for an entire office. And then from that lawsuit, court cases would keep snowballing.
Mhm.
And in the later chapters, we would run into corruption. But when we're talking about the homeless chapters, we're talking about I should have never, what I was asked to do in that office was lie to a Texas judge,
Mhm.
right? And cover up the story on originally what happened, and I could keep my job. And I was not going to do that. So I would leave the office. I would be forced to quit. That office, by law, Logan, could keep my money, which the commission money due in about that time was about 100,000. So
Mhm.
I should have never lost everything. Now my attorneys, and at the time it was 4 Dallas attorneys representing just me. And then there's all the attorneys with all the other recruiters in this entire mess. But the reason why I bring it up is my attorneys would call me the whistleblower. I was certainly innocent. I hadn't done anything wrong. I just was not going to lie to a Texas judge. I would honor my non-compete. And then, oh, by the way, just to mention, non-competes in this country have changed current day,
Yeah.
okay? And it's probably for severe examples like this one, all right? I honored my non-compete. I was innocent. By law, the office could keep my money and I would lose everything, you know? And what I can say about that, current day, because, you always ask God, or I do, God, why does this happen to you? What doesn't kill you will only make you bigger, better, and stronger.
Mhm.
But I would be forced to walk on the other side of the fence, Logan. And there's so many times, and I spent a couple years with our government officials talking about the underprivileged and the homeless. And see, and I've told government officials this. Sometimes we don't. It's not that we don't care; we don't know. And
Mhm.
so I learned some extreme examples by walking in the homeless shoes, even though it was for a short period of 8 months. And I
Mhm.
was able to take those lessons along and pass them to the right people so that we could actually make a difference and make some changes for our underprivileged in this country.
Wonderful, wonderful. You've learned from your circumstances and have helped others from that knowledge and experience. I understand you're labeled a medical lobbyist in this country and you fight for more fair laws and regulation of the staffing industry for our future. What are your thoughts, and can you explain some details from your book on what goes wrong in professional offices?
Okay. Well, Logan, at first I'm going to say read the book, but I tell everybody do not copy anyone in the book. All
Yeah,
right. This is all bad stuff that goes down in the professional offices. Okay.
yeah.
But it personally for me, and at 55 years old and 30 some years of career, if we had a magic genie, or, if I could wish something on our business owners or company owners out there, our leaders,
Mhm.
before or when you're starting your business, what I would say is take the time, learn the laws and the legal in your industry. Spend a little money on attorneys. Learn it from the beginning, because attorneys can set you up for success in the beginning stages. Because really what happens is people wait until disaster strikes, right? And then here comes the attorneys, you know?
Mhm.
And, riding the executive roller coaster medical staffing cases is a perfect example on a few very bad business decisions that turn into how many people are hurt out there, how many employees are hurt, their families are hurt, how much loss and how much trauma can go down because of a few bad business decisions. There's also things that I've seen out there. I've seen recruiters leave offices, and they're gonna, they're going to come at the company owners, right? And they turn around and they break laws, and it's
Mhm.
attacking on both sides. So yes, I am known to advocate more fair laws, um, and advocate, do the things the right way. It's just as easy to do things the right way versus do them the wrong, you know, and attorneys can set you up for success. So learn from that example.
Absolutely. When your book came out, it reminded people of a movie and a book. What famous book is a similar comparison?
So I love this question because it's always an honor. But years ago, yes, with me and my four attorneys and my legal team and these cases and medical staffing, for years, people would say, you know what, Kelly? You remind me of Julia Roberts and Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah.
And you know what, Logan? Julia Roberts is, she is my favorite actress, so that was
Hmm.
always an honor. Aaron Brockovich, where would that come from? I mean, my legal story, it's a different legal path, but you still have, a lot of people call me an attorney with no law degree.
Hmm.
And here's the truth. I worked with so many attorneys, they turned me into a baby attorney. That's what I say, a baby attorney.
Yeah.
And when you're out on money, and you can't pay your attorneys, you're doing legal yourself. All right.
Yeah.
But I just happen to have the attorneys that loved and adored me, and they sent me on the right path, and I would do it myself. But definitely Aaron Brockovich, if you think about that movie, it's about a female, she's a warrior. She's
Yeah.
strong. She's determined. She's fighting to make a difference in a community. And so, yes, it's a very strong comparison. It's
Uh,
also an honorable comparison, because again, somebody has to stand up, be the warrior, and take the fight to make a difference in this country. For me, my goals have always been, you know what? Let's make positive changes and let's make us be better for the future.
yeah. Absolutely. Both strong women, both fighting for just causes. I can absolutely see the comparison. What is your success factor in branding?
I'm all about, my branding is about make your sales awards, make your success and money, but do it the right way, right? Obey the law, set up the right systems, take care of your team, and then, oh, by the way, take care of your community, you know? Um, and, the better you take care of people, the better they take care of you. You got to take care of your team. I'm very strong. My first career was restaurant management, so I'm very strong into budgeting
Mhm.
and problem solving and training. I could train people in my sleep, all right? But don't make our careers, if you're just making it about money, then you're losing out there. You're losing. I'm about be passionate about what you do, go above and beyond, and you'll hit success.
Exactly. Under promise, over deliver. Always a good recipe for sure. Your
Yes,
book
sir.
is inspirational. Tell us how you remain so positive with life.
I love that question, Logan, because positive with life. When you say positive for life, what I think first off is gratitude or a gratitude list. Life is not perfect, but if you can wake up in the morning and if you've got, a few lists of the things that are always going right versus what's going wrong, because, even strong problem solvers like myself, if we spend 24 hours in problems, we are going to be absolutely miserable.
Hmm.
So focus on what's going right, and it will bring a lot of positive energy. For me, I was raised in a Catholic school. I was raised with church, with God, with faith. Logan, I was one of those though. I needed more. I dragged in 18 years ago to a life program.
Hmm.
I've had a life coach, and in a matter of, I've been coaching jobs for 23 years. What I've learned in my life program, all of that knowledge gets passed on to the people that I coach out there in both life and business. So, the decisions you make, the decisions I current make are based on a spiritual life and what I've learned in that program about being a better person. And the first thing I learned about a life program, Logan, you walk into a life program and you're going to want to point the finger at everybody else. And the first thing you learned in a life program is you take those fingers and point them right back to yourself because we're here to
Exactly.
work on you. And if you can set a good example and if you can set a good light for people, then they will follow you and they will come to you for advice. But you got to be the person setting a good example first. So be the
Absolutely.
better person. Now, sometimes I get mad and I say, I'm tired. of being a better person. Can you be the better person out there? Show me different, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Well, it's great advice, great insight, great wisdom to leave the audience with today. The name of the book is Riding the Executive Roller Coaster, Medical Staffing Cases. In it, Kelli shares her real life stories from her decades in the industry, revealing the challenges, triumphs, and behind the scene battles of medical staffing and the medical staffing world. Whether you're a business professional, entrepreneur, or aspiring leader, this book is packed with insights on success, a determination to fight and get things right, and navigating the roller coaster of corporate life. Kelli, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan Crawford. Have a beautiful week.
You have a beautiful week as well. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.